Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? We've all heard of Bitcoin and the ripples it has spread across the whole world of finance. Cryptocurrency is almost synonymous with Bitcoin. So who is the founder of Bitcoin? Should have been easy to discover, right, considering all the hype it got? But oh no, the identity of the founder of Bitcoin has always been shrouded in mystery until the name Satoshi Nakamoto arose. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Welcome back to our channel. Let's delve right into the topic of who exactly is Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto has been the name given to the person who developed Bitcoin and authored the Bitcoin white paper and made and released Bitcoin's original reference implementation. So this means this guy had also devised the first blockchain database, and in this process, he was the first to solve the double spending problem for digital currency. His activity was seen until December 2010, after which Bitcoin went on to be an independent and automatic cryptocurrency. Obvious from his name, this developer seems to be from Japan and maybe around 45, with his birthday assumed to be the 5th of April 1975. He's said to be a computer scientist and cryptographer. On tracing his roots, Nakamoto is said to have started the work on writing the code for Bitcoin in 2007, and in 2008 the domain name bitcoin.org was registered and a website was set up by the same name. He also published a cryptography mailing list describing the digital cryptocurrency in detail. This was not all. Why is this important man's contribution so shrouded in the unknown? Because this smart dude collaborated with other developers in 2010, and he later handed over all the repository and network alert keys to Gavin Anderson and other prominent members and self-retired from the whole Bitcoin process. The very thing about being behind the digital screens is that no one can guess your identity or appearance. Even your personal details don't matter. He has been seen discussing technical matters related to banking, and from many people's guesses, he claimed to be a 37-year-old man who has a really good hold over English. It was quite unaccented, which made many people speculate that he wasn't a native. What added to that point was that the software didn't have a single Japanese feature to it. Another epic speculation was he might have been a team of people. Because of the level of work, Dan Kaminsky, who is a security researcher after studying the code, said that Nakamoto was either a genius or a team of smart developers. In fact, John McAfee said it must be specifically 11 people. It was too well designed for a person to have done it, said the experts. British English was used so much in the source code, especially in source code comments and forum posting. Classic expressions seen were bloody hard. Spellings like G-R-E-Y and C-O-L-O-R were seen. So maybe from the European English areas? Even the reference to London's The Times newspaper in the first Bitcoin block mined by Nakamoto suggested a particular interest in the British government workings. People went to levels to decipher who this guy was, and many recorded timestamps of Bitcoin's posts to assess the place he'd be from. The identity of Nakamoto has been under debate ad nauseum. There were just so many people rumored to be him. We've covered a few now, and the hilarious stories associated with them in the next part, so keep watching. Number 1. Hal Finney. One of the major contenders for the creator of Bitcoin was Hal Finney. He was a pre-Bitcoin cryptographic pioneer and the first person other than Nakamoto himself to use the software, file bug reports, and make improvements. He also lived a little bit away from a man named Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto, and their handwritings were almost the same. Many thought that Finney may have been a ghostwriter on behalf of Nakamoto, or that he simply used his neighbor Dorian's identity as a drop or patsy whose personal information is used to hide online exploits. But there were emails between him and Nakamoto, and his Bitcoin wallet's history, including the very first Bitcoin transaction from Nakamoto to him, which he forgot to pay back. And even Finney denied that he was Nakamoto, and the charges or accusation was dropped. Number 2. Nick Szabo. Szabo is a decentralized currency enthusiast and had published a paper on BitGold, one of the precursors of Bitcoin. He is known to have been interested in using pseudonyms in the 1990s. In a May 2011 article, Szabo stated that himself, Wei Day, and Hal Finney were the only people he knew of who liked the idea enough to pursue it to any significant extent until Nakamoto went ahead and did. But many people said that there was no proof that Nakamoto is Szabo, and Szabo himself denied being Nakamoto. Number 3. Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto. Dorian Prentice Satoshi Nakamoto, a Japanese-American man living in California whose birth name is Satoshi Nakamoto, is considered the Nakamoto in question. He trained as a physicist at the Cal Poly University in Pomona. He later worked as a systems engineer on classified defense projects and computer engineer for technology and financial information services companies, a perfect precursor to his stint as the Bitcoin creator. So all these assumptions made people interview Dorian Nakamoto, and very surprisingly, he denied all connection to Bitcoin, saying he had never heard of the currency before and that he had misinterpreted an interviewer's question as being about his previous work for military contractors, much of which was classified. That day, the actual Nakamoto's P2P Foundation account posted its first message in 5 years stating, "I am not Dorian Nakamoto." In September, the account posted another message saying it had been hacked, raising questions over the earlier message's authenticity. And the whole thing became a huge muddle with no one wiser about Nakamoto's identity. Number 4. Craig Wright. In 2015, Wired wrote that Craig Stephen Wright, an Australian academic, was the person who either created Bitcoin or was trying to steal all the credits for it. And Wright and his wife got to the center of all media attraction. The same day, Gizmodo published a story with evidence supposedly obtained by a hacker who broke into Wright's email accounts, claiming that Satoshi Nakamoto was a joint pseudonym for Craig Stephen Wright and computer forensics analyst David Kleiman, who died in 2013. One of Bitcoin's developers, Peter Todd, said that Wright's blog post, which appeared to contain cryptographic proof, actually contained nothing of the sort, and he was seconded by another of its developers. In May 2019, Wright went even to extreme levels and started using the UK libel law to sue people who denied he was the inventor of Bitcoin and who called him a fraud. Number 5. Elon Musk. Sahil Gupta, who is a former SpaceX employee, published a blog that Nakamoto may be Elon Musk, which made sense to a lot of Muskians as this guy always endorsed Bitcoin more than necessary. However, in a tweet dated the 28th of November 2017, Elon Musk denied he was Nakamoto. So again, this proves there is absolutely no proof about who exactly Satoshi Nakamoto was. But why did he choose to remain anonymous? What were Bitcoin's implications that he foresaw and avoided connection with? Bitcoin is a blend of ideas that originate from the cypherpunk movement. It was revolutionary. Bitcoin blockchain has a market cap of around $930 billion. Still, there is no record of a programmer by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto before 2008. Thus, it is curious why a person who possesses such a wide array of knowledge would choose to remain anonymous and would go to such lengths in order to preserve his privacy. Why didn't he want the credit? There are quite a few reasons that we can assume. When Satoshi mined the first Bitcoins back in 2009, when it was trivial to mine Bitcoins quickly and easily, it's estimated that Satoshi Nakamoto owns approximately 1 million Bitcoins. Such a huge amount of money would put him at risk and might have put him in the spotlight. He didn't want that. He probably knew that if Bitcoin was going to succeed as a decentralized currency, it would need to grow organically, with no leader or figurehead, as announcement or commentary by Nakamoto could be misunderstood or interpreted as investment advice leading to price movements. We see this in altcoins now. When Litecoin's owner makes a single comment, it is torn apart and read into by analysts and statisticians and experts to give a clue about its value. Being under the radar can be tiring, and with Bitcoin's popularity, Nakamoto would be ravaged. What if there was a Bitcoin civil war due to a split of authorities, where branches of Bitcoin come up and it would lead to a massive flop of the workings? This happens when one person holds the reins. Retirement won't be easy if the person is well known. Also, these coins can be used for any purpose. Why would he want to be held accountable for their usage? This has happened where if Bitcoins were caught as the transaction mode, then they'd hold the owner accountable. The US government has already imprisoned people trying to generate new forms of currency as a threat to the dollar. Nakamoto doesn't have to face all that, and quite cleverly, by protecting his identity and letting Bitcoin go, he didn't have to. Hence, he must have avoided that pitfall by letting it go when it was just starting to rise. This was commended to be the reason for Bitcoin's success too. So he did great, but his fans have been curious too. We know he may not make an appearance, but it would be great to know the background story of this guy who innovated in a way that was previously not thought possible even. What do you think? How epic was he? And do you think the world is ready for this hidden genius to be known? Let us know in the comments below. For more such geeky content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next video. Stay safe.